Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the afternoon session. GN Satish Kumar sir will be continuing on the parametric and non-parametric test. Sir, can you start the session? Sir, GN sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, Kiranmay, you are audible.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Satish sir. I think we can continue.
Ramnareddy sir, I think you're presenting the screen. Yeah, it's got on. and devices adopted in a given company to ascertain yes, whether the candidate specification are matched with job specification requirements for specification or not. इसके आगे 3 पॉइंट देना है लिखो essentials of selection process of selection इसके आगे फर्स्ट पॉइंट लिखो अब ज्यादा फर्स्ट पॉइंट ये रहा अथॉरिटी ऑफ सिलेक्शन लिखो ऐसे लगा देना अथॉरिटी ऑफ सिलेक्शन
Vandana madam, please mute your device.
Third point is sufficient number of applicants. Organization for selection.
Proceed, madam.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Okay, we'll start the afternoon session now. We'll discuss first about the parametric test, then we'll discuss about non-parametric test. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I have already shared this file, which is a grades.sav. So we will work on this file. First, in parametric test, we will discuss about one sample t-test. One sample t-test. Now, what is one sample t-test means? In the file, we are going to take only one variable, and we are going to test this variable with an assumed mean. So when you are considering only one variable, it is called as one sample t-test. Is it okay? So in this case, I am taking GPA score as one variable, and we are going to have an, first we will see what is the mean of this GPA score. Analyze. In descriptive statistics, let us say descriptives, GPA score I am taking, and let me see the GPA score, the mean is 2.7789. This is the actual mean. This is the actual mean, okay? So now let us create a hypothesis that the mean of GPA score is 3. Can you understand what I'm saying? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are taking an assumption that the GPA score mean is 3, and we want to check whether it is accepted or rejected. So actually the null hypothesis will be formulated like this. For one sample t-test, null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between assumed mean and actual mean. We are assuming mean to be like 3.0, that is nothing but 3. And we expect that we don't know what is actual mean, but we already seen that it is 2.77. So the null hypothesis we are formulating as the statement is there is no significant difference between assumed mean and actual mean. Is it okay? Is it okay, madam? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
let us start the analysis for this one sample t-test. I am doing in parametric test, the first test we are discussing, that is one sample t-test. Now, in this one sample t-test, we are going to go for analyze. In this compare means. In compare mean, one sample t-test. One sample t-test. And take GPS score from left side to right side. Test value, we are assuming it to be 3. So test value, what is the value you're expecting? You must enter here 3 and click OK. Now when I click OK, we get one sample statistics. The assumed mean we have taken as 3, okay, but expected mean is how much? Actual mean is 2.77. Now, are you going to accept the null hypothesis or reject the null hypothesis? For this statement, you must see the significant column. Now, in this one sample t-test, the value what you're expecting is 3. Now, significant value, two tail is 0.004. Now, if it is less than 0.05, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. We are rejecting the null hypothesis. If the significant value is less than 0.05, we are going to reject the null hypothesis. So what is the hypothesis? There is no significant difference between assumed mean and the actual mean. So we are rejecting means there is a difference between assumed mean and the actual mean. This is what is called as one sample t-test. So we can write here, if the significant value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis, else we accept the null hypothesis. So in this case, we got the significant value is 0.004.
in the response.
Yeah, so we are rejecting the null hypothesis in the sense there is a difference between actual mean and expected mean. Is it okay?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah, madam. If you interact only, I can go ahead, madam. This is called one sample t-test. Is it fine? Yeah. So we will discuss the next test in a t-test, parametric test, that is two sample t-test. This is called as two independent sample t-test. After one sample, now we are going to discuss about parametric test, two independent sample. I'll take the same example of these grades. Here, I want to know, is there any significant difference between gender and GPS score? Is there any significant difference between gender and GPS score? Why we are calling it as two independent sample? Because we have two samples. Gender is one sample and GPS score is the other sample. So you can see this hypothesis, null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between male and female towards GPS score. Towards the GPS score. Towards the GPS score. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, why we are calling it as two independent sample? In the sense, when we take two sample, that is, in this case, we are talking about gender is one sample, GPS score is 2. And within gender, we can see exactly there are only two levels are there, male and female. And male and female are independent levels. So that is why we are calling it as two independent sample t-test. If they are dependent, we must not do this test. We must do this test only when the variable gender is having exactly two levels. Is it fine?
Sir,
Okay, the
voice
null
not clear,
hypothesis
sir.
we have
Can you please repeat,
stated.
sir?
Voice not clear, sir.
It is not clear. Now we are talking about two independent sample t-test, madam. Two independent sample t-test means we are taking two variables here. Gender is one variable, GPS score is the other variable. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, gender is categorical data. Gender is a categorical data. GPS score is a scale data. Fine. And we want to check,
Yes, sir.
is there any significant difference between male and female towards GPS score? Is there any difference between male and female towards a GPA score? So this is the objective which we have. We want to check whether there is any significant difference between male and female towards a GPA score. So that's why we are doing two independent sample. And why it is called independent? Because male and female are independent levels. Male is one type of level and female is another type of level. So these two are independent variables. So we are doing two sample independent t-tests. What is important here is, in this categorical data, we must have exactly two levels only must be there. If it is more than two levels, we are going to do with ANOVA. We are not going to use t-tests. Is it okay, madam? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Can we go ahead?
Sir, where to use two independent sample t-test and ANOVA? Is there any demarcation?
See,
between this?
here we are talking about, we want to know the difference between male and females towards GPS score, right? So gender, which is categorical data, is exactly two levels only, like male and female. That is why we are using t-test. For example, you want to know, is there any difference between specialization towards a GPS score, for example. So see, the specialization is not two levels, it is three levels. Marketing is one level, finance is second level, third level is HR. So when you have more than two levels, we cannot use a t-test. We must use ANOVA.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So I can do t-test between gender to GPS score. But if I want to know, is there any significant difference between specialization to GPS score, I cannot use a t-test, because specialization, when you take specialization is having more than two levels. Then we must use ANOVA. If it is exactly two levels only, I can use t-test. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
For example,
Okay, sir.
if I want to know between grades, how many grades I have, A, B, C, D grades I have. And I want to know, is there any difference between the grades to the score? Which test I must use, t-test or ANOVA?
ANOVA, sir.
Yeah, correct, ANOVA, because the level are more than two levels. If it is more than two levels, automatically you must use ANOVA. If it is exactly two levels, then you must use t-test. For example, generally in demographic variables, they take marital status, married, unmarried. You want to know, is there any significant difference between marital status towards the income or some other variable you want to know. Then marital status is exactly two levels. Then you must use t-test. But in the same marital status, if you have married, unmarried, or widowed or divorced, then we must use ANOVA. If it is more than two levels, we must use ANOVA. If it is exactly two levels, then we are going to use t-test. Okay. Right. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And now before doing this test, this statement, null hypothesis statement, need to be formulated or create the statement. What is the null hypothesis? There is no significant difference between male and female towards a GPA score. Now let us do the test. Analyze, compare means in this independent sample t-test. Now in this independent sample t-test, testing variable is GPA score and the grouping variable is gender. And after taking gender, you need to define the groups. There are exactly two levels. You can see 1 means male, 2 means female. Continue and click OK. Click OK. So what I did, I went for analyze. In analyze, compare mean. In compare mean, independent sample t-test. In independent sample t-test, a test variable is GPS score and grouping variable is gender. Define the group 1 as male and 2 as female. Continue and click OK. Now here we got the results. You can see the grouping statistics. The GPS score, you can see for male it is 2.8967. For female it is 2.59. So there is a difference between male performance towards female performance. So here I am interested to see whether it is significant or not significant. Is it okay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we can come for the significant tables. You see the significant value. What is the value? We have 0.048. If this value is less than 0.05, reject the null hypothesis. Else accept the null hypothesis. Since this value is less than 0.05, why we are saying 0.05? Because alpha value you have taken as 0.05. So if it is less than 0.05, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. So what we can conclude, if the significant value is less than 0.05, then reject the null hypothesis. We are saying null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between male and female. Now we are concluding that there is a difference between male and female. And we can even support that with the mean values. Male GPS score is 2.89, whereas female is less, it is 2.59. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Small
Sir,
clarification.
between equal variance is
Yes, ma'am.
assumed value or equal variance is not assumed value.
Yes, ma'am, please say.
Sir, for significance level, that is 0.048 or 0.049, which value we are going to consider? Equal variance is assumed or equal variance is not assumed?
Yeah, I'll explain you that. Now you can, for understanding which value to use, whether you must use 0.048 or 0.049, we need to check this homogeneity test. Okay? If you're
Sir,
writing,
these
write it.
values are coming different. As in
Yeah,
my
let me
system,
see.
these values are coming different.
Let me say that. We need to, for understanding which value to use between these two values, we need to understand homogeneity of values. Homogeneity means how the data is distributed. Is it equal between male and female or not? For this one, we are doing a test called as a Leibniz test of equality of variance. Okay. So to understand this, we must do homogeneity test. Already system automatically did this homogeneity test. What is the test? Is Leibniz test for equality of variance. Is it okay? Now you must make the null hypothesis that equal variance is there between male and female. Means the data is having equal variance between male group and female group. If the significant value is less than 0.05, we are rejecting that hypothesis. In the sense, there is equal variance is rejected. Equal variance is not there. So if this value is less than 0.05, then you must use this value 0.049 value. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In this case, what is the significant value for Leibniz test of equality? 0.566. In the sense, data is equal, means equal variance is assumed. Equal variance is assumed, that is accepted. So in this case, we must use 0.048. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a small query.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, when I am performing this test in my system, different values are coming, sir.
No, we are using software, sir. Same data if you are using, you'll have the same output.
Sir, I have one query. So
Yeah.
regarding the assumptions, there are three assumptions. One is the independence. The two groups are completely independent. Second is
Okay.
the variance, which you just explained. And third is the
Okay.
normality. So when we talk
Okay.
about normality of the scores of the dependent variables, does
Okay.
it is required that on both the groups, it should be normal, or is it like overall normality? And how do we test that?
Total,
If
on the
different.
total data, you must check the normality.
Both the groups included together.
Yes, for the total data, we'll see the normality, not required that we see for individual groups.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Is it okay? So for understanding purpose, let me say once again, in this independent sample t-test, we are checking equal variance assumed. So we are using a test called Leibniz test for equality of variance. If this significant value is less than 0.05, equal variance is not assumed, means the data is not equal variance. If this is less than 0.05, then you must use the second row value, significant value. This value you must use. If this is more than 0.05, then this significant value you must use. So in our case, equal variance is assumed. Significant value 0.566. So I am using this value 0.048. Is it okay?
So may I know what is the logic behind this considering equal variance assumed significance value?
See,
More
equal
than
variance
one-
assumed means
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
if there is male and female, in male group, some students are having like one very poor students are there, very extremely intelligent students are there. Means variance is not correct. But when you come for female, the knowledge of female students are equal. Then is there anything good that you are going to compare male with female?
No.
No, I have a small example. In MBA colleges, we have section-wise. They get admission through ISET. They come as section-wise: A section, B section, C section. This way.
Okay.
In A section, we have ISET rank very good holders. Means rankers will be there. And in last section, we don't have rankers. They are all management students. Is it that you can compare the first section students with the last section students?
No, never.
That's what I'm saying. Equal variance means you are checking the variance of the group. A variance is different and the last section variance is different. Then you must not compare them, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're right.
That's what the same thing you are doing. Is there variance is equal between male and female? We are checking.
No, in our cases, practical cases, our sampling and the situations will vary, changes. That point, how to fix ourselves, how to confirm, take a year, independent sample test is stable. GPS score, equal when
Yes, you must check this equal variance assumed.
assumed, okay?
So if this is less than 0.05, equal variance is not assumed. So you must see equal variance not assumed.
So yeah, that is the logic, or what is the theme or base we have to
It means
fix like
that
this.
male students and female students variance is not equal.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So that's why we are going to go for significant value of the second row.
Okay, sir.
Is it okay?
So in my case, here default, for example, I'm asking, sir, defaulters and non-defaulters. Okay, so for financial some ratios we will apply. Their mean with them and some current ratio or something. Then what we have to consider here, sir? You
must see defaulter, non-defaulters are two groups, right? You see the variance between, is it equal variance is between defaulters and non-defaulters?
There is might be no equal variances.
If this variance is not equal, then you go for the second row.
Second row, that is the okay. So well, there is a no equal variance, then we have to say as not assumed one.
Correct. If equal variance assumed is rejected, this is rejected, accepted, then we are coming here. If it is rejected, you go for the second one, equal variance not assumed.
So on this, sir, this is a norm of our statistics, sir.
This is parametric.
Yes, parametric norm. Thumb rule.
Parametric.
This is a thumb rule for selecting this assumed and not assumed one.
Correct. You must see whether equal variance assumed or equal variance not assumed. In our case, we are equal variance is assumed.
Okay.
So in your case, if it is equal variance is not assumed, then you must take the second row.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Is it fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go on, sir.
Now, one more important thing, generally, don't think otherwise if I say, because I do so many researches, people want to tamper the data, right? They want to tamper the results. So what they do, if it, for example, it is coming 0.5, 0.05, they make it less than 0.5, but they forget to change the values here. See, if you see lower and upper, you must not have 0 between these two values.
Okay, okay, okay.
Then automatically people like me can easily identify by seeing the results.
Mhm. Mhm.
0 must not be there. For example, this is minus and this is plus, 0 will be there in between this.
Mhm.
If it's both minus, we don't have 0 between them.
Okay, sir.
If both are plus, also 0 will not be there. But if one is minus, the other one is plus, automatically 0 will be there, means significant value is more than 0.05, that is.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Because people nowadays, they are doing that. They're tampering the result, but they forget to see the actual minute data.
Okay.
So if it is less than 0.05, you don't have 0 between upper and lower. Means minus and plus, you'll have 0 between, right?
Yes, yes.
Here both are positive, so 0 is not there. Between this value to this value, you don't have 0 between. And this is also both positive, we don't have 0 value in this data.
Okay, sir.
And one more important thing, generally people will not notice that, but sensitive matter I'll say, standard deviation generally must not be more than 1. Like 1.2, 1.3 means we say it is a suspicious data. Here you can see what is the standard deviation, 0.7, right? So generally, if it is like a standard deviation is coming as 1.2 and 3, and you are saying it is accepted or rejected, then we say the data is suspicious data.
Okay. Okay.
So should be very careful, because we actually, no one in I have read many books, but in many books they don't write these points.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So standard deviation is always better if it is close to 1 or less than 1.
Okay.
And the standard error also must be very less.
Sorry, here, how to confirm a standard error is very less or?
No, it is close to 0, right? It is close to 0.1. If it is, for example, like 0.6 or 0.5, then we say error is more.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
then we have some, means that the data is not uniform. So there may be outliers in the data.
Okay, sir.
You have to filter the data first.
Okay, sir.
So that's what if data should be filtered, then only we are going to go for the t-tests.
Yes, sir.
So this is all. So we have discussed till now about one sample. So I've taken only one sample and did the test. 2 sample means we are comparing between dependent sample, the gender. Sorry, independent
So what is
sample,
the
gender,
method
and
of
GPS.
filtering the data? What is the method of filtering the data?
So outlays, you need to remove the outlays.
Okay.
Remove the outlays, and some missing data will be there also. I think the other may discuss how to eliminate missing data.
Right, sir. Right.
Many people don't say, actually we have a method of entering missing data. We don't actually delete that missing data. We have some method. So that's not part of this explanation. So missing data itself is a huge thing for us, because when we import the data from other source, we have a lot of missing data sometimes we get. Okay, now we will discuss the other test. Till now we discussed about 2 sample independent sample t-tests. Next we will discuss about paid t-tests. Okay, shall we go ahead with paid t-test?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in paid t-test, we will be having 2 samples. For example, you can see these 105 respondents are there. So they have been given different type of trainings. They are being given teaching methods. So with the first teaching method, they got this score, and this is the second teaching method. So this is teaching the marks which they got with the first teaching method. Maybe like blackboard method, they teach on a blackboard and explain. And second one maybe with audio video explanation method. So they want to see is there any significant difference between teaching method 1 to teaching method 2. Is it okay? So this is called paid t-test. It's not independent. This is a dependent variables because same respondent data we are taking twice, before and after. With the teaching method 1, this is a score, and teaching method 2, this is a score we got. So teaching method 1 and teaching method 2. Null hypothesis, you must state there is no significant difference between teaching method 1 and teaching method 2. Can I go ahead?
Okay, sir.
So I think you understood the concept of paid. Paid means same respondent data is taken twice. In teaching method 1, we got some result we got, and teaching method 2 also we got some result. So we want to compare, is there any significant difference between teaching method 1 and teaching method 2? So for this null hypothesis already I stated, there is no significant difference between teaching method 1 and teaching method 2. Let me start the analysis. Analyze. In analyze, compare means, in compare means paid sample t-test. So analyze, compare means paid sample t-test. When I click this, this is the pop-up window. In this teaching method 1 as first variable, teaching method 2. Here you can understand I am only comparing between two methods. Even though I have third method and fourth method, I am not comparing with other methods because this is t-test. In t-test, you will be having only 2 levels. If it is more than 2 levels, you must do repeated measure ANOVA. That's a different test. Since I'm comparing between exactly 2 levels, I'm doing paid t-test. Paid t-test exactly with the 2 levels. So I've taken first pair variable 1 and variable 2. In variable 1, teaching method 1, teaching method 2. Click OK. Now this is the output. In this output, paid sample statistics. Teaching method 1 mean is 7.47. Teaching method 2 7.98. So we can find there is a difference between these two. There is a difference because teaching method 2 may be more effective because it's an audio video explanation. 7.98 the people got. And paid sample t-test, directly you must see significant value. The significant value is 0.005, which is less than 0.05. So we are going to reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a difference between teaching method 1 marks to teaching method 2.
Satish sir, one question please.
Yeah.
Now standard deviation values are more than 1. Does it make any issue in this, in paired sample?
In the sense means some people are understanding in a very good way and some people are not at all understanding that method. You can see teaching method 1, when you teach by Blackboard method, there are people who are extremely good and extremely poor.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, if it comes for teaching method 2 audio video, that difference between the poor students to excellent students is coming less, means that itself shows that teaching method 2 is more performing.
Done sir, thank you.
Yeah, right. So here we can conclude that significant value is less than 0.05. So we are going to reject the null hypothesis and conclude that there is a difference between teaching method 1 and teaching method 2. So this is all about t-test. We have discussed about 1 sample t-test, 2 sample independent t-test, and paid sample t-test. Now let us discuss about one-way ANOVA.
Sir, there is one doubt.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Sir, in the previous result, the standard deviation was more than 1.8 something. Whether it denotes something that the data is not, whether data is suspicious or like that.
Yes, because that's what I said. Teaching method 1, when they teach with Blackboard method, that's only on board method, on board writing method.
Okay.
There are students who are understanding very good, and there are some students who are not able to understand at all.
Okay, okay.
Means that method is not effective.
Okay, sir. Okay.
See, what is a method which is a good method? Means a method that is useful to all the students.
Okay, sir.
In second method, when we call it as audio video method, where people are able to understand, means there is a difference between poor performing to excellent performance coming down. You can see by here itself, there you see this 8th student is got 0 marks.
Okay, yeah.
But at least he could do something better in second method.
Yeah.
So the difference between, see, these people, see, if you see 5th student, he's intelligent by nature, that he can understand even board method and also audio video AV method also.
Okay.
So this method should be excellent method, right? Because compared to one, this method is good method.
Good method, yeah.
So that's what we are concluding. We are concluding that the standard deviation in teaching method 2 is reducing. If it is less than, even though it is not better one, because it is more than 1.67 it is.
Yes, yes.
It should come less than 1. Then we say that method is excellent method.
Okay, okay, okay.
That is mean the objective of research. What we are saying is how much is the diversification in the group. The diversification in the group should not be very huge.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Right. Now let us discuss about one-way ANOVA. In one-way ANOVA is same like independent sample t-test. Only difference here, we are going to have more than 2 levels. For example, I want to see, is there any significant difference between specialization towards GPS score? You can see specialization is a nominal data, where we have marketing, finance, and HR. Only one variable. This is called as independent variable. GPS score is called dependent variable. Always a dependent variable should or must be scale data. If your sample size is more than 500 or around 500, you can use ordinal data also. Is it okay? So I want to know the difference between, is there any significant difference between specialization towards a GPA score? So null hypothesis, I've stated that there is no significant difference between specialization to GPA score. Let us start the analysis. One-way ANOVA. Analyze, compare means in that one-way ANOVA. In one-way ANOVA, factor that is specialization, dependent variable is GPA score, and click OK. So I go on to ANOVA, compare mean one-way ANOVA, dependent variable is GPA score, the factor is specialization. Click OK. Now here, see GPA score, directly we are able to see significant value. It is 0.055, 0.055. If it is less than 0.05, then we are going to reject. But in this case, we are accepting. We are accepting. Means there is no significant difference between specialization towards the GPS score. Let us do the same thing with teaching method 1. For example, I'm saying compare means one-way ANOVA. Instead of GPS score, I'll take teaching method 2. Is there any difference between specialization towards teaching method 2 marks? No, there is no difference at all. So significant value, we don't have any difference at all. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Anyone have a doubt? Hello? Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let me do with other teaching methods also. No, there's no difference at all. Okay. I'm taking, for example, let me do one thing. GPS score dependent specializations. Now, if in case I'm saying, for example, if it is less than 0.05, then we want to know, is there any significant difference between each group? like between marketing to finance, finance to HR, then we are going to do post hoc test. Post hoc test. So the same analysis we do, analyze, compare mean. In compare mean, one-way ANOVA. In one-way ANOVA, post hoc. Click this button, post hoc. Post hoc must be done only when if the significant value is less than 0.05. In this, generally we take Tukey method. And click continue because significant value is 0.05. Continue and click OK. Now here we are going to know the difference between each group. Marketing and finance, it is showing there is a difference. Marketing HR is not showing any difference. Finance marketing, there is a difference again. Finance HR, there is no difference. HR people and marketing people are not having any difference. In HR finance also, there is no difference. So even though you are able to see here, there is a difference, this may not be significant for overall. That's why system is saying overall, there is no difference between the groups. So you can ignore this small difference. Okay. So this post hoc test is used to know the difference between the groups.
Sir, can you please repeat it again? This test, post hoc test.
Okay, the post hoc test we are doing in order to know the significant difference between the groups.
Okay.
Here, the significant value is 0.055 means which is actually not less than 0.05.
Okay.
But even then I did post hoc test to know is there any significant difference between the group marketing and finance.
Okay,
see the significant value is less than 0.05, right?
Yeah.
Marketing to HR is not significant.
Okay.
And same way finance to marketing there's a difference. Finance to HR there's no difference.
No difference.
HR to marketing there is no difference, and HR to finance also no difference. Even though the system is saying at post hoc level using Tukey method there is a difference, but overall system is not showing difference. So we don't need to consider this post hoc test.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So do I have to do ANOVA and post hoc test?
Yeah, ANOVA you must do to know between all the groups. If that is less than 0.02, less than 0.05, then only do post hoc.
Okay, sir.
If it is not less than 0.05, then please don't do post hoc test.
Sir, can you please tell the command once again? That's the analyze, compare means for the post hoc test.
Analyze, compare mean.
Okay.
In compare mean, one-way ANOVA.
One-way ANOVA.
Yeah, in one-way ANOVA, after clicking one-way ANOVA, dependent variable is scale data, GPS score, and factor is specialization. In this post hoc, you must click the button.
Okay, right side. Okay, sir.
Here we have right side, we have post hoc.
Okay.
If data is not assumed, which one is more appropriate, sir?
Sir?
If data is not assumed, equal variance not assumed, which one is more appropriate?
Here we're not checking about equal variance here. We are only checking between the groups. Is there any significant difference between groups? We are only checking.
So here 30 is more appropriate, right?
Yes.
If suppose I want to do in this equal variance not assumed, which one is more appropriate?
Not getting your question. Which is appropriate?
While they are doing equal variance assumed, 30 is more important.
Okay.
Suppose if I want to equal variance not assumed, which one is more appropriate? The games for, can you press a
equal variance assumed must be appropriate, sir.
Suppose if I want to do this equal variance not assumed, which can you suggest which one is more appropriate?
We always expect between, when you compare two groups, always you expect that variance must be equal between the groups.
Okay.
Like I said, no, you are having a competition of 100-meter running between two group of people. Will we take two different group or equal group people? Must take between equal type of group. Equal variance must be there. In case we don't get equal variance, then we must see in that case what is the significant value. Is it okay?
Okay, thank you.
So here in the postdoc, we have other tests. Generally, some
Sir,
people
hello.
they want Bonferroni test.
കിട്ടി സാർ കിട്ടി
Hello.
ഞാൻ ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Your audio is not correct.
Okay.
You can take Bonferroni also.
സാറേ, ഞാൻ ആക്ച്വലി ഒരു FDP-യിലാണ് AICT അടലുണ്ട് നാളെ. ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്താൽ പോരെ?
Participants, please mute the mobiles.
To key, continue and click OK. Then we are going to get this post-hoc test. Okay. Right. This is about one-way ANOVA. Now, after one-way ANOVA, we can see about repeated test ANOVA. See, for two independent sample t-tests, if it is exactly 2 levels, we are doing t-test. If it is more than 2 levels, we are doing ANOVA test, right? And if you want to compare between 2 levels, 2 tests, we are using paid t-test. If you want to compare between more than 2 levels, repeated test ANOVA should be done. For example, I want to compare between teaching method 1, teaching method 2, and teaching method 3. I want to compare between these 3 methods. Then I must use a repeated measure ANOVA. Is it fine? If you want to test between exactly 2 levels, teaching method 1 and teaching method 2, I must use paid t-test. If I want to go with the teaching method 1, 2, 3, or more than 2, even 4 also I want to take, I must use repeated measure ANOVA test, parametric test. 4th parametric test we are discussing. This is repeated measure ANOVA. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry. So let me start the analysis. Let me start the analysis. My null hypothesis is, I'm stating null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between the teaching methods. There is no significant difference between teaching method. First teaching method is a board method, blackboard method, where they only write and explain. Second method is audio video. Third one is experimental method. They show with experimental method. And fourth method is some case study method. So in this way, they have different type of methods of training. So we want to see whether there is any difference between training method 1, 2, 3, and 4. So to do this analysis, analyze general linear model. General linear model. In this general linear model, must click the button repeated measure. Repeated measures. Repeated measures. Is it okay? Can I click? Okay, when I click repeated measures, you need to define how many sets of comparison you want to do. Okay, let me do between 4 levels means 4 tests are there. I'll take 4. Add. So factor 1 we are having between teaching method 1, 2, 3, and 4. Click that one. After entering 4, if you say add, you get factor this one. Highlight that one and click define. And here we got 4. Now select teaching method 1, teaching method 2, teaching method 3, and teaching method 4. So we have teaching method 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm clicking OK. Now, can directly see the testing of within subject contrasts. See factor 1 linear, if you see, you get the significant value which is 0.019. So there is a difference between the 4 teaching methods. The 4 teaching methods. Is it okay? we have so many other outputs are there, but I'm saying to the point, what need to be immediately checked. Means the basic one, what need to be checked is factor 1. You can see the linear more than quadratic. You must see the linear, this value. If it is less than 0.05, then we are rejecting null hypothesis. Means there is a difference between teaching methods. Is it okay?
Sir, can you please repeat the commands once again?
Yeah. Analyze in that general linear model, in that repeated measures. General linear model in that repeated measures. Click repeated measure.
Okay.
In this, first you must decide how many levels you want to have, because we have here 4 levels. Method 1, 2, 3 and 4 are there. I'm entering 4. Click add.
Add. Okay.
Yes, click add. Add button.
Okay, sir.
Now highlight this factor 4. After highlighting only, you can click define.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So please highlight this factor 1 within brackets 4, because 4 levels are taken. Highlight it and click define. Now we are going to transfer from left to right side the variables which you want to analyze. Teaching method 1, teaching method 2, teaching method 3 and teaching method 4. So I have selected 4 teaching methods and now click OK. Now when you click OK, so the first thing which you want to see is tests of within subject contrasts. Here different type of contrasts are there. We are seeing linear. The significant value is 0.019. If it is less than 0.05, we are going to reject the null hypothesis and conclude there is a difference between teaching method 1, 2, 3 and 4. You must check this part.
Satish sir, what do we mean by quadratic and cubic here?
See here different type of algorithm programs. I'm saying in a very simple layman language. Quadratic is the other contrast what we are going to have, and cubic is the other contrast. In data is been combined in a different formats. Okay, so in a linear form, yeah, we generally see the linear one only.
Done, sir, done.
Now this is all about repeated measure ANOVA. So till now we have discussed in parametric test, 1 sample t-test, 2 independent sample t-test, paid t-test, one-way ANOVA and repeated measure ANOVA. Right? In 2 independent sample, exactly 2 levels must be there. If it is more than 2 levels, we do ANOVA. In paid t-test, it's a called dependent one. Paid only 2 levels. If it's more than 2 levels, we do repeated test ANOVA. So we have discussed about 1 sample, 2 sample. Further, we'll be having more than 2 sample. That is called multivariate analysis, where we discussed about 2-way ANOVA, ANCOVA, MANCOVA, MANOVA. So many things can be discussed. Is it okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So we have discussed still only one sample and 2 sample, exactly two levels only we're discussing. If you want to discuss with multivariate analysis, that is what we are going to have more than 2 levels. We call it as a 2-way ANOVA, and we call ANCOVA, MANOVA, MANCOVA. This all tests comes under multivariate analysis. Multivariate analysis, we are going to compare multiple variables in this. Till now we have discussed only 2 levels. Is it okay? Now, second point, we are discussing about non-parametric tests. Before we go for non-parametric tests, anyone having a doubt, you can ask at this moment.
Sir, by the term level and variable, you mean the same?
See, level in the sense for gender, I am talking 2 levels means only male and female, right? That's called level. And when we call as sample, male gender is 1 sample, GPA score is 2nd sample. That is 2 sample. That is sample is different, level is different.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Now, in this case, when you're talking about gender and GPA, gender is independent sample, GPA is dependent sample. So this is what we are talking. Even teaching method 1, 2, 3, we are talking, these all are scores only. So score is one method, one sample, and method is second one. Method is independent, score is dependent.
So, although we have run all the parametric tests in this data set, the sample was not normal, and mostly it happens that the sample is skewed. Even standardized data cannot justify that, even with a large sample size of 200 or 300 or more. So in that case, can we justify that since there was no normality assumption fulfilled, and we don't want to go with the central tendency theorem, then we are using parametric test?
See, I'll actually, because I did so many PhDs, talking to the norm, we must not actually do this parametric test.
Okay.
But what happened, not now, 9 years back only, one professor, he said, you did a good analysis, Satish, but you forgot t-test and ANOVA, he said. No, sir, I did with the other type of tests. He said, no, please do t-test and ANOVA. Understood?
Okay.
So that is what they're expecting. So people are expecting us to do, we do it because we don't explain for professors and supervisors, right?
Yes. Okay.
If you say to norm, statistical, strictly with the norm, we must not do it if it is, because that's what we are discussing from the morning. But no, from long time, they say they want to see this traditional university, especially they want to see t-test and ANOVA. Now something better scenario for last 4-5 years, people have changed. But 10 years back, it was not a PhD without t-test and ANOVA.
Sir, in fact, journals also ask for this, that until you, even if you don't fulfill assumptions, and you write it that assumptions were not fulfilled.
Professors will be there in the panel, in that review committee.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Professors, these are professors. I'm not commenting on any person. I'm not commenting.
No, sir,
that's how the industry, they are expecting, we are doing. That's it.
Okay, sir. Okay, I get it.
Because they directly called me and said, no, you have not did t-test. I know, you please do that and you give that test also. So what we can do, we'll do it. Because we cannot say that we must not do it. We cannot talk statistical methods in front of them.
And sir, how much is it justified to use then transform data? Because transform data loses the original essence.
Transform in the sense, standardized data?
No, sir, not standardized. The log transformation or square root transformation.
That is correct one. That is absolute correct method. What you're doing standardization means you are taking the mean as 0 and you are doing the analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
Instead of taking, for example, the total class mean is 4, for example. You're taking 4 as a base and you're seeing how many people are less than 4 and how many people are above 4, right?
Into the 3 standard deviations, yes, sir.
Yes. Instead of that one, you're taking mean as 0 and standard deviation as 1. Then you're comparing mean means 0, means less than 0 and above 0. You have standardized the data there. That's it.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
So standardization is the other form of data. We're not actually tampering the data or we're not modifying the data there.
Okay.
So that is actually need to be done when we do regression analysis. It is compulsory. If you see a lot of difference when you do moderation analysis, where we do compulsory standardization of the data. The moderator and independent variable will do standardization. If not, the results will vary based on the algorithm they are using, the program formula what they are using that does not compare with the original data. We must do standardization.
Yes,
because in the morning session, I think that madam was showing you process, right?
Yes, sir.
In the process, when you are using, the system by default will take mean centered data. Actually, she has not gone to the details. But when you do moderation with first model, there will be one option, tick button, that says mean centered data. You must compulsory select that button. Without selecting that button, you must not do analysis.
Okay. And sir, regarding this thing, the parametric test, so when we talk about normality of dependent variable, why do we take the overall normality of dependent variable instead of each group's normality? Is there any statistical
Overall, see,
justification?
what is assumption is overall, that's what you are seeing in variance also, right? Two groups you are taking, again, you are seeing the variance also.
Okay, okay.
Because you internally, you're talking about the Leibniz test using the variance.
Yes, sir.
So that's why we take the see.
Overall normality, not every.
Yeah. One thing, when we do PhD analysis, we have some objectives and we try to fulfill some objectives instead of going to minute details.
Yes, sir.
So generally, we are not interested in actually going to the data and seeing the normality, seeing the variance. Until and then, it is the main objective for our analysis.
Okay.
The main analysis for us will be to see the impact of the study of A on B, see whether D is moderating or not, F is mediating or not. That is the main objective of our research.
Yes.
You want to see whether emotional intelligence is mediating between culture, organization culture and employee performance. Main objective is standing on that only. They don't actually see internally whether male and female is having equal intelligence or not. That is not main objective, right?
Yes, sir. So
if
basically,
you
that
drill down at that level, if you drill down the analysis at that level, scholar will say, sir, my document is going more than 300 pages. Can you cut short it?
Right, sir.
So we focus mainly on mediation, moderation, and to explain that, because that is the main analysis for us. That is the objective which the research is done, not for to check between male and female, no, between group A, group B. That is not the main objective. So we don't drill on that very highly.
Right, sir.
Thank you very much. If your objective is only that to check the group wise, you go into the minute details.
Okay.
So generally, we don't focus on that minute details because that is the not main focus for us.
Yes, sir.
Because panel also will not get bothered whether they are actually explaining that variables or not. They don't bother. They only bother whether your objectives are fulfilled or not.
Right, sir.
So that's why we don't do those things. Is it okay?
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Now let us go for the next non-parametric methods. In non-parametric methods,
sir,
I brought here the table automatically. See it?
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Participants, the attendance link has been shared. Please fill the attendance. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
sir, one doubt, sir. I am belongs to some engineering background, mechanical. So I am new to this statistic. So for my study, actually 3 cases, sir. One is normal condition. Students, a normal student. Second case is students playing with games. Third case is students playing with mobiles. Okay, mobile games, sir. So I want to compare these 3. So what is the best test, sir?
You want to compare this 3 with what? What is the dependent variable?
I mean students' performance, sir.
Student performance is a scale data?
Yes, sir.
So you use ANOVA test.
Okay, sir.
ANOVA can, because I know these students categories are, these are categorical data, that is nominal data they are.
Okay, sir.
And the performance is a scale data, then we are going to use ANOVA.
Okay, okay, sir. So repeated ANOVA or normal ANOVA, sir?
Repeated ANOVA we are going to use when you have data which is repeatedly taken different time instance.
Okay, okay, sir.
Like in the medical, they have taken after the drug is induced, before drug induced, what was the disease? What is the level of disease? After drug induced, after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Same patient you are taking 3 times, 4 times, before induction of the drug, after induction of the drug, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
So my case is also same, sir. So normal student.
But you have groups here. No, you have groups. A group, B group, C groups are there, right?
Okay, okay, sir. Yes,
and you're comparing between A group to B group to C group, then it is, each group is a category. That is a ANOVA test.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
If you don't have group and you want to, it is only one group and you did this experiment three times, more than three times, then you're going to go with repeated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Sir, can I ask you something?
Please carry on.
Yeah, I am doing a study on pre-COVID and during COVID well-being of students, like how they feel their learning activities. So what are the kind of tests can I have?
See,
and the data is in Likert scale.
Pre-COVID, what is the test?
COVID period.
Yes, sir. And before COVID and after COVID, about what you are doing analysis.
Yeah. It is only student well-being and learning activities.
Okay, let us take well-being. Is this well-being is a scale data or nominal data or ordinal data?
This ordinal data, sir, it has been taken into Likert scale.
Yeah. If it's an ordinal data and the same set of students or different set of students you're taking?
No, same set of students.
Then you must do repeated test, repeated t-test, because you have only 2 levels, before and after. Then you are going to use a t-test, paid t-test.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Paid t-test, yeah. Thank you.
Excuse me,
Now,
sir.
let us go further.
Can I ask
Yeah,
you?
please. Yeah, please.
Sir,
Sorry, I'm not able to hear. Your voice is breaking.
I have used a GED Journal Anxiety Disorder Scale, that is a numerical scale. If we strongly agree to weakly agree. So and there were some questionnaires which I framed. So now I want to have some conclusion. So can I what kind of test should I use that I may
Sorry, sir, your audio is not clear.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
I'm not able to hear any audio.
Hello?
Yeah, now I can hear you. I can hear you. Hello? Hello? Hello, madam.
Sir.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
There's another participant asking a doubt. It is not clear.
Sir, can I ask a question, sir, please?
Please.
Sir, actually, I have done a study regarding, as one of the audience, they were saying about well-being. So I also did well-being of general public, mental health status in of public during lockdown. So I used WHO scale and then well-being scale. So now I want, and there were like 5 set of answers. So first I have to get a score for that if someone is getting 10, then he's well, and if it is low than 10 though, so it is he's not well. Means on a scale I'm getting the response. So those who are above certain value, so they are well, and those who are not below it, so they are depressed. So this was like 1. Since second, there was like they were sleep deprived. So my variable was sleep deprivation. So who were depressed, they were sleep deprived, and those who are not depressed, so they were getting proper sleep. So means what type of test should I use for this?
Let us take about this sleep disorder.
Yes.
So you are taking sleep disorder on what scale? Is it ordinal?
Sir, I actually, sir, right now I don't have that much understanding that what is ordinal or not. I have asked the question that whether you are getting proper sleep or not. So they responded yes or no.
It's a dichotomous you're asking.
Okay.
Dichotomous question we call. That's called dichotomous. Dichotomous means yes or no. They'll tick whether you're getting proper sleep or not, but not in a scale of like 1 to 5 or 1 to 9.
No, sir. Right? No, sir. Not a scale. Yes.
Okay. How many categories of people are there?
So a category of people means it was general public. So some were student, housewife, working, non-working. Like we had
that is called occupation. We call. For example, you are taking occupation like students, self-employed, and housewife. This is called as occupation. For example, you call it as occupation, and you want to see about sleep disorder. Sleep disorder is yes or no, right? It is a category.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And this occupation, is also category. There is nominal data. Then you must use chi-square test.
Okay, chi-square test.
Chi-square, because here in both cases dependent, and because this occupation is independent and the sleep disorder is dependent.
All right,
both
sir.
are nominal data. When you have both nominal data, then you must use chi-square test.
Chi-square test. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can see this table. For example, just whatever we discussed. Just I have kept here as a table. Can you see the table?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I can see the
If we
table.
have independent variable, dependent variable, you have exactly two levels. We are going to,
Yes,
and
sir.
the type of data, the dependent type is scale data. Like GPS score is a dependent data. Then you must use two independent sample t-tests.
Okay, sir.
If that independent, because like gender, I said, gender means male and female. Gender is a nominal data. Level is two levels. There is an independent. They are both are independent. And the GPS score is only one number, one level, one variable. Type is scale. ND means normal distributed. And this is the method. See, if you see the second one, nominal data, two level, but they are dependent. Then you are going to use paid t-test.
Okay.
Like we say specialization, more than two levels, like marketing, finance, and HR. They are independent. When you come for GPS score is only one scale data, normal distributed data, then one way ANOVA must be used. And here, same thing, only one data. That we are talking about methods, different type of methods, more than two methods we are talking about. They are all dependent methods. Means for same set of respondents, we are given training on different methods. So they are scale data. Then we are going to use repeated measure ANOVA. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
And now let us see your chi-square test. When you see about chi-square test, you can see number of variables. That's called occupation. For example, you're talking about occupation. More than two occupations you're talking, like students, self-employed, and housewife. For example, there are more than two. They are independent. And the sleeping disorder is nominal. Nominal means yes or no you're talking, right?
Yes, sir.
Then you must choose chi-square test.
Okay, sir.
So nominal data and nominal, both are nominal. But here you can have two levels or more than two levels. Two or more.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, no, sir.
Yeah.
So I want to ask something. In this example which you are giving, sir. Hello.
Hello. Your audio is not clear.
Hello, sir. Can you? Hello, sir. Can you hear? Hello.
I'm not hear anything.
Mr. Abhishek, I think your audio is not clear because of network issue. You can put it in the chat box so that sir can answer.
Okay.
We'll continue.
Can I go ahead now?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Right.
May I have a question to you?
Yeah, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please say.
Sir, this is Sachin from Rajahmundry. Sir,
Yeah.
in my study, I'm observing the impact of ethical, social, and environmental performance on economic performance. Using the Likert scale, the information is gathered from 3 different categories of people. The sample is about, for example, 500. Then should I use this ANOVA test or go for?
What is your object? You want to compare between
Ethical, social, environmental, and economic.
So you're talking about comparison or you're talking about impact study?
Impact study. It is
impact study. No, this ANOVA, all these things are only comparative studies, not impact studies.
Okay, right.
These are comparative studies. I'm comparing between male, female. I'm comparing between specializations. I'm comparing between different methods. It's all comparative studies, not impact studies. Impact study, you must use regression analysis. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
For impact, what?
Impact study. Impact study means that's the different. We are discussing only comparative studies. These are called comparative studies.
Okay.
Comparing between different parameters, we are comparing.
Sir,
comparing between.
Sir, I have a doubt because if we want to compare two dependent variables, two independent variables having multiple questions or multiple options, which test can be performed, sir?
Sir, if we take independent variable to left side, what how many levels it is having, and what is that variable?
In independent variables, it is having 5 factors. For example, importance or the advantages or benefits like that. One will be the disadvantages or challenges. Another independent variable. So this I want to know in each and everything there will be some questions like it will be useful for better understanding. It can help in reducing the time like that. There will be some options.
So here I understand you are asking group of questions. Okay?
Yeah, sir, group of questions.
And which are in Likert scale.
Yeah, it's in Likert scale.
So what you must do is first you must do factor analysis and see where they are really forming a group or not.
Okay, sir.
If they are forming a group, then you must do summated rating scale. We call summated rating scale means 5 questions are there. You take the average of that.
Okay, sir.
Now, when you take summated rating scale, the data becomes scale data, not ordinal data or nominal data, scale data.
Okay, sir.
And to the right side, dependent also same situation. I think it is also scale data, right? Summated rating scale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you must do correlation must be done because they both dependent and independent both are scale datas.
Okay, sir.
Then you must do correlation, not ANOVA, not this parametric or non-parametric, because we can do this parametric, non-parametric when you have dependent nominal datas and independent nominal datas you can see on the screen, and a dependent or scale data or ordinal data or nominal datas. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If both are scale means you must do correlation.
Okay.
Because you have some group of questions, you are taking the average of that, and you want to see this A is having any relation with the other variable, then you must do correlation only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
The dependent must be nominal data. You can see clearly to the screen left side I have written all nominal data only.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All are nominal data.
Okay. Okay.
All the story is going on with the right side only, this one.
Okay.
Basing on the type of data, the test is changing here.
Okay.
I think you understood.
Okay,
so my session itself started with that measurement types: nominal, ordinal, and scale.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I remember.
Because the total story goes with those 3 things only.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, may I extend this question further?
Yeah, please.
Sir, in this case, to test the significance of correlation for a sample of 500, what is the test that I can use?
See, you are testing only bivariate correlation, then you can use Spearman correlation.
Testing the significance of correlation. What is the test that I can use?
Significance of correlation.
Correlation between the variables.
Yeah, just a moment. I think correlation many people take. Correlation in bivariate talking. Let me take between test 1 and test 2, for example, like this. Okay, we are using Pearson correlation. Okay, correlation coefficient, significance, two table. We are testing this Pearson correlation. This is how we are going to test. Yeah. Significance is less than 0.05. I think after my session, there is a person going to take up a correlation regression. I think there you can ask more questions.
Thank you.
Because this actually is out of our coverage area, because we have other speaker, resource person who is going to talk tomorrow about correlation regression in the afternoon session.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Because why we must use this all method, I think he is going to cover. Why we are going to use this Pearson, Campbell, or Spearman, why we are going to use all these methods, is going to discuss these things. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now let us discuss about the chi-square test and go further. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
so now I'm discussing about non-parametric methods. In non-parametric method, the first one I want to discuss is chi-square test. Right. I want to see generally there is a notion, I don't know how many people accept this, in the college which I worked. Females will take finance generally, and marketing people, male people will take. That's how they have their notion. That's the assumption they have. Now I want to check whether it is correct or not. Is there any significant difference between gender and specialization? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
In the college which I worked earlier, there I used to see all generally females used to take finance. They never think that this marketing is their part. I'm saying general, not specific. So let us see, is there any significant difference between gender towards specialization? Null hypothesis, we can state that there is no significant difference between male and female towards specialization. Okay, so here you can see gender is nominal data and specialization is also nominal. Both are nominal. Specialization is dependent, gender is independent. So to do this one, I'm starting the analysis, analyze, descriptive statistics in this cross table. Descriptive statistics, cross table. In this cross table, gender as a row, dependent should be always as a row. Independent, taking a specialization, row and column. In statistics, check this button chi-square. In statistics, when you click this button statistics, we get cross table statistics. Select this button chi-square, click continue and click OK. Is it okay? Right. Now here we can see male. How many people they are taking? Male are 64 members, females are 41. Are they in the total section of 105 or in a group of 105? So I don't find any difference between specializations towards gender. See the chi-square test. You can see this asymptotic significance 0.429. Pearson chi-square need to be checked. If this is less than 0.05, if it is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis already stated there is no significant difference between male and female towards specialization. So we are accepting that. So we can easily see that there is no significant difference between male and female towards specialization. So this is how we are going to do chi-square test. We need to check in the total table only Pearson chi-square need to be checked. Only this one need to be checked. So there is no significant difference male and female towards Pearson, towards specialization. If you want to do the same test with gender towards grades, we have different type of grades are there. A, B, C, D grades are there. Is there any difference between grades, what they get towards gender? So null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between male and female towards grades. So analyze, descriptive statistics, cross tables, GPA score, grade levels. Even grade level is ordinal data I'm taking. That's not a problem actually. We can take. It's an ordinal data also we are taking. Statistics, chi-square is selected. Continue and OK. Yeah, there is a difference in scorings. You can see males, more number of people got A grade. And females, mostly people got B grade here. And you can see this asymptotic significance, it is less than 0.05. So we are rejecting the null hypothesis. Why we are rejecting null hypothesis? Null hypothesis states that there is no significant difference between male and female towards GPA score. That is rejected means there is a difference between male and female. To know clearly percentage wise, you can do the same thing. Analyze in this cross table. In cells, click cells. Here you select this button rows percentage. Click continue. Click OK. can see out of 100% in male, 46.9% are A grade people are there. In female, out of 100%, 58.5% people are B grade people are there. Means mostly females are B grade, and I'm talking only about the data, not my assumption. Males are getting A grade 46.9% and females B grade 58.5%. And when you see that males C grade, very less people are there, only 10.1%, but females around 19.5% people are there. So there is a difference between grades towards gender, because you can support with the significance value 0.033, which is less than 0.05. Is it okay?
So you did the percentage. Can you show it again?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we must you see, when we do the analysis in cross tables, always you must take the independent as a rows. Okay, dependent as columns. So grade level is depending on gender. You must go to cells. In cell, you must select only for the independent one. For gender only you must select. Don't select for columns. So select this cell button. So you can see cross tables cell display. Okay, rows are selected. Only rows are selected. Continue and click OK. Then now it is clear to see with percentage wise, because see, total males 100%. In this percentage, we are seeing how many people got which percentage. And female total 100%, and we can see the percentages here. So now it is more clear, because without percentage it's not clear. It was not clear earlier when you're seeing it is not clear here. So carefully you must do this analysis and to see that where you are getting A percentage and B percentage and C percentage. You are going to comment. Is it fine?
Sir, under chi-square, we check for significant difference or significant association.
I'm not getting significant difference. You are talking about 0.033, right?
Sir, I'm only talking about the terminology that we use. Is it significant difference or significant association?
Relation, then we talk about association, I think.
Hello?
Yeah, because difference, I think we talk under t-test, and for chi-square, we talk significant association.
In when you're coming for chi-square, what is happening here? Let me show you. In chi-square, both are nominal only.
Yeah.
In t-test, you can have scale data.
Right, sir.
But in chi-square, you cannot have scale data.
Right. So, sir, when we are formulating the hypothesis,
okay,
so would it be there is no significant association, or we'll formulate it like there would be no significant difference?
See, there is no significant difference in the standard format.
Okay.
If you take this 26 version SPSS, now we have some features. By default, it is giving null hypothesis also.
Okay, sir.
In that, they are not using the word called no difference. They are not using the word. Instead, they are saying that there is equal, male and female are equal. I'll show you when we start analysis. I'll show you. It's all only statement we are doing, but that actual meaning is same.
Right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Standard, I'm saying about age-old one. That method, that way of writing that statement is there is no significant difference only. We write not no significant association. We don't say. Okay. Right.
Sir, in this particular example of gender and grade, gender is independent variable, right? And the grade
Yes,
is
gender is independent, and GPA, this grade levels are dependent.
so row should be gender, right? No.
I'm saying from left to right, right? Left is independent, dependent is always on right.
Okay.
Left to right, always we read from left to right.
Okay, sir.
Right. I think this is you understood, right? So chi-square test. Next, let us go for Mann-Whitney U test. Mann-Whitney U test. This Mann-Whitney U test is same like two independent sample t-tests. In parametric test, we will be using 2 independent sample t-test. And in non-parametric test, we will be using Mann-Whitney U-test. Both are same. Both actually works in same. If you see this, both are nominal, 2 levels, independent. Number is 1. Here scale data can be used, normal distribution. Here scale data is not normally distributed, and this dependent can be ordinal data also. Then we are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test. Is it okay? So what you are going to use the method in parametric. If the scale data is not normally distributed, then automatically please use non-parametric method, which is called Mann-Whitney U-test. Is it okay?
Sir, can you please repeat it, sir? Repeat that sentence.
See, we have used 2 independent sample t-test. What we have used? Nominal data, like gender, 2 levels, independent. We are taking GPS score, the scale and normal distributed. Then we are using t-test, 2 independent sample t-test. In case the scale is not normally distributed, then we are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And not only that, even the data is the dependent variable, measurement type is ordinal. Then you are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test. If it is scale data, not normally distributed, or I get oblique, you can see oblique, no, or ordinal data, then we are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test. Is it okay? When we are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test, when we have independent variable, which is nominal, exactly 2 levels. Dependent variable, only 1 variable, which is a scale, not normally distributed, or which is ordinal, then we are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test. I think this is very clear, right?
Yes,
is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
I have a small doubt.
No, sir.
Yeah, madam?
Sir, once you please repeat, when the dependent variable is having 1 variable and
You can see it now. You can see the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, in the screen I have clearly mentioned here. You see the difference between t-test and Mann-Whitney. In t-test is scale and normal distributed. But here you can see it is a scale, but data may not be normal distributed. Then you can use Mann-Whitney U-test. If the dependent variable is ordinal also, you can use Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay?
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
And if the dependent variable is nominal, what you must use? What test you must use? If the dependent variable is nominal, what test you must use? Chi-square. Chi-square. Already you can see
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the one that is written bottom, nominal. It is chi-square.
Yes, sir.
I maximized. You can use chi-square test here. If it is scale data and not normally distributed, Mann-Whitney. If it is a dependent variable, it is ordinal data, then Mann-Whitney. If it is nominal data, automatically it is 2 level, right? Chi-square test. Right? So we actually say the t-test is parametric, non-parametric. We are going to use Mann-Whitney U-test. That's it. Is it okay? Yeah. You can see this example where we have gender group. Gender group, there are different type of groups of genders. Sales groups. Sales groups. I'll just open the data. There are 2 type of sales groups are there. Sales group 1 and sales group 2. And this is their sales performance. Sales performance. Sales group is independent. Sales is a dependent. Sales group is independent. Sales is dependent. And this data, if you see sales group, there are 2 groups are there, which is nominal data. And sales is a scale data. So I want to check, is there any significant difference between sales group to sales? Null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between group 1 and group 2 towards sales. So I want to perform this test, which comes under Mann-Whitney U test, non-parametric test, because we are assuming that sales is not normally distributed. Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll start the analysis.
Yes, sir.
Analyze non-parametric test. Okay, in analyze, we are going to go for non-parametric test. In non-parametric test, legacy dialog. In that, 2 independent sample. You must click this button called 2 independent sample. You want to write? You can write that. Analyze non-parametric test, legacy dialogues. In that, 2 independent samples. In that, grouping variable is sales group. Define them as 1 and 2. Continue. Sales. Testing variable is sales. That's it. And you can see here, test type Mann-Whitney U test is selected. You can even use Kolmogorov-Smirnov test also, but the default is Mann-Whitney U test. Click OK. Now Mann-Whitney U test, directly see the significant value. You can see this asymptotic significant value. Asymptotic significant value 0.000, which is less than 0.05. It means there is a difference between sales group 1 to sales group 2 towards the sales performance. Mean rank for sales group 1 is 14.3 and 2 is 5.2. So there is a difference between sales group 1 to sales group 2, which we are able to confirm with the Mann-Whitney U test. Significant value is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. So we are rejecting the null hypothesis. In the conclusion, we can say that there is a difference between sales group 1 and sales group 2. Is it okay? So here we have independent variable, exactly 2 levels are there. Dependent variable sales, which is a scale data. The same thing we are written here. Nominal data, exactly 2 levels. That is sales group 1, sales group 2. Sales is scale data. So we are using Mann-Whitney U test. Any doubt you have, you can ask.
Clear, sir.
Right. Now it's already 3:50. So the remaining test we will discuss tomorrow. Wilcoxon sign rank test, Kruskal-Wallis test, Friedman test, McNemer test. Okay. After that, we have to discuss factor analysis and reliability. So, is it okay? I have shared all these SPSS files, source files. I think you all people got that files, right?
Yes, sir.
You can have a work on that. You can do some analysis on that. Okay, if any doubt, you can ask the next. Tomorrow I have session from 11:40 to 1:10. Morning session.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, may we get your email ID so that if we have any doubt, we can mail you?
Yeah. Just a moment. This is my email ID. I have a YouTube channel also. If you want to interested, you can check this channel, My Easy Statistics. If you are interested, this is my email ID.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow I have session at 11:40. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I request Renuka scholar to propose thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Hello everyone, I'm Renuka and very good afternoon to all of you. I would like to conclude the session that was held till now by Satish Kumar sir. It was such a well organized and very informative session. Today Satish Kumar sir discussed about data analysis using SPSS and types of data, measurement of data, data distribution mean, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis and the data normality test. Data normality test, it's Kolmogorov-Smirnov and Shapiro-Wilk test. This selection of tests depends upon the sample size. And to be frank, I came to know about the few topics, I mean, a few concepts, basic concepts that I missed during my study. That is the difference between ordinal data and scale data. So you really helped me a lot in the basics. I mean, the brushing up of basics. Like we shouldn't take mean and standard deviation for ordinal data, and we should take it for scale data. And today I came to know about the scale data and ordinal data, and whether to check mean and standard deviation for them, and also difference between original data and standard data. Mean can be any number for original data, but mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1 for standardized data. And such basics, I once I brushed up all those basics, and also about the null hypothesis and difference between parametric tests and non-parametric tests. Today, sir taught us about parametric tests like sample t-test, paid t-test, one-way ANOVA and repeated ANOVA tests, and non-parametric tests like man-witness tests. However, we are about to discuss Wilcoxon, Kruskal-Wallis, Fright test, and nature of variables. And when it comes to parametric and non-parametric tests, there are variables of dependent and independent nature. And as we discussed various kinds of situation, and at what situation, which kind of tests we need to use for that particular situation. So these are the topics that we discussed today, and Satish sir taught us really very much valuable inputs regarding these topics today. And sir, we are looking forward to learn more about the non-parametric tests, and also the factor analysis that we are looking forward to discuss about these topics in the next session. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for your valuable inputs. And okay, I would like to end my